Okay, I want you to imagine being completely trapped in a dark tunnel for 2 years. You can't move forward, and all you're facing is just rejection after relentless rejection. Well, welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking the absolute roller coaster journey of Melanie Perkins and the creation of Canva. We're going to trace a massive, incredibly epic arc today. We're talking about starting from the absolute rock bottom depths of struggle and broken systems, all the way to building a literal global tech empire. So if you're curious about how you can take absolute overwhelming chaos and systematically transform it into undeniable clarity, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's dive in. To really grasp the genius of this blueprint, we have to start right in the abyss, 100 plus. Back when Melanie Perkins was first trying to get Canva off the ground, she was rejected by over 100 investors. Literally, over 100 people looked at her idea and flat out said no. They'd tell her, oh, the market isn't big enough, or you're just like this other existing company. It was brutal. And the crazy part? It wasn't just external rejection. Internally, her team hit this massive wall where they spent 2 painful years having to rewrite their entire codebase. They were stuck in that dark tunnel, completely unable to ship even a single new feature. Just imagine that for a second. 2 whole years of grinding with zero outward momentum to show for it. But if we fast forward out of that darkness, the juxtaposition is just staggering. No joke, today Canva is valued at $42 billion. That's billion with a B. That dark tunnel of constant failure, it eventually birthed a company pulling in $3.3 billion in annual revenue. Plus, they've been wildly profitable for 8 straight years, which makes them one of the absolute hottest private tech companies on the planet right now. So you gotta ask yourself, how do you bridge a gap that massive? How do you go from over 100 brutal no's to a $42 billion yes? Well, let's break down the exact frameworks that made it happen. Chapter 1, Column B, Visionary Sating. So most people plan their lives and their businesses using what Melanie calls Column A thinking. Column A is basically looking down at the bricks scattered around your feet right now and asking, okay, how high can I stack these? It's totally limited by your immediate reality. But Column B thinking, that is an entirely different beast. Column B is looking way out on the horizon and dreaming up a magical, mythical castle on a hill, this improbable, perfectly ideal future, and then working backward from that dream to figure out how to build it. Now, remember, when Melanie was just a university student with literally zero software experience, Column A thinking would have dictated she'd do absolutely nothing. But instead, she chose Column B. She imagined a completely collaborative, entirely online, ridiculously simple design future, and she just started working backward.
The real magic, though, is how you actually operationalize a wild Column B dream without losing your mind. And you do it by moving step by step from chaos to clarity. Every big idea starts out chaotic, and honestly, a little bit embarrassing because you don't have all the answers yet. Step 1 is just embracing that initial chaos. Step 2, get it out of your head and write it down. And step 3 is the absolute game changer, iteration. Remember those 100+ investor rejections? Melanie didn't take them personally. When an investor said the market was too small, boom, she added a new slide to her pitch deck proving with data exactly how big it was. When they said there was too much competition, she added a slide mapping out the precise gap in the market. She literally used their constant rejection as a tool to add clarity, step by step until her vision became completely undeniable.
Chapter 2, Setting Crazy Big Goals.
So what is a crazy big goal? Well, it's something so massive and outlandish that when you first say it out loud, it makes you feel completely inadequate. Canva's overarching mission from day one was to empower the whole world to design. Sounds great, right? But to make that actionable, they had to break it down into 4 specific pillars. Empower everyone to design anything in every language on every device. These essentially became the rungs on a very, very tall ladder. I mean, they didn't start out with 100 languages. They started with English, then Spanish, and then climbed up rung by rung until they were tackling complex right-to-left languages like Arabic and Urdu. They took these massive, almost terrifyingly amorphous goals and just willed them into existence through a solid decade of hyper-focused investment.
But here's the thing. When you are constantly chasing crazy big goals, you can't just keep your head down and grind forever. You will burn out. You absolutely have to celebrate achieving the impossible. When Canva hits one of these monumental rungs on their ladder, like, say, launching in their 100th language, they literally stop to create a moment in time to truly celebrate. I'm talking about smashing Greek plates, releasing live dubs, throwing full-blown festivals, all just to give the team a moment to look around and pat themselves on the back. It's that intentional celebration that sustains the motivation you need to do impossible things. Chapter 3, The Two-Step Plan. Now, we're zooming out to the macro strategy, and it really is this simple, yet incredibly profound. Step 1, build one of the world's most valuable companies. Step 2, do the most good we can do. The big takeaway for you here is that building a hyper-valuable, multi-billion-dollar tech company isn't the actual end game for Melanie Perkins. Getting rich is not the goal. It is strictly a means to an end. Step 1 is simply the necessary fuel to achieve Step 2. And the beautiful part is, Step 2 provides the deep underlying purpose that fuels the relentless grind of Step 1. And the sheer scale of how they execute this is mind-blowing. $1.5 billion. That is the actual value of the product Canva gives away for free every single year to schools and nonprofits around the globe. On top of that, Melanie and her co-founder Cliff made a pledge to give away 30% of Canva entirely, just to do the most good they can do. Recently, this included a massive $150 million commitment to organizations like Give Directly. That money is putting cash straight into the hands of people living in extreme poverty in places like Malawi just to meet their basic human needs. They are literally rewiring the corporate playbook, directly connecting business success with massive, tangible global impact. Chapter 4, A Vision for 2050. Melanie actually has this huge physical vision wall right in her office. A while back, she realized humanity is kind of speeding along on a freight train, and she didn't exactly love the direction we're heading. So she did what she does best. She applied her column B thinking to the entire planet. On that wall are these seemingly impossible yet dead serious goals for the year 2050. Things like ensuring basic human needs are met for all, establishing global education as a fundamental right, and creating bountiful communities with deep purpose, actively fighting back against modern loneliness. She looks at this wall every single day, using this grand 2050 vision to guide the microscopic, day-to-day decisions she makes right now. Because at the core of this entire insane journey is just one simple, powerful idea. Everything good was once imagined. It's actually a quote she keeps pinned right on that 2050 vision wall. And the reality is, if you don't take the time to imagine a better future, you cannot possibly will it into existence. Global change, just like building a $42 billion company out of the ashes of 100 rejections, has to start with radical, unapologetic imagination. So the final question I want to leave you with today, the big thing you should be taking away from Melanie Perkins' absolutely incredible blueprint, is exactly this. What world are you trying to will into existence by 2050? Seriously, whether it's in your own personal life, your family, your business, or your local community. Are you just looking down and stacking the bricks you see right in front of you? Or are you daring to look up, imagine that magical castle on the hill, and working backward to actually build it? Think big, embrace the chaos, and start climbing your ladder.